we're doing football imperialism. Every single club from the Champions League will be competing in a battle for the entirety of Europe. Here are the rules. First, we spin a wheel to pick a team, then we use an arrow to determine who they play for land. For example, if the wheel landed on Man City and it went west, they'd play Liverpool. The losing team is out for good and the winner claims all their land. And to make it more interesting, each time a club wins, they get to steal a player from the losing club. We're going to be doing this until there's one club remaining who controls the entirety of Europe. Before we start, let me know who you think is going to win it all, and please make sure to subscribe to Deansworld as this is inspired by him. The first team attacking is going to be Dortmund, and they'll be heading south, which means they play Bayern Leverkusen. The AI is going to be on legendary, and each half is 3 minutes long, and if a game ends in a draw, it goes to golden goal, and if they still don't score, it'll go to penalties. As the defending team, Leverkusen will be at home. Demirba would find Schick with a cross and put them up 1-0 going into halftime. Early into the second half, Schick would hit a beautiful through ball to Hudson-Odoi, and with a clean finish, they were up 2-0. Dortmund just couldn't get anything going the entire game, and they are the first to lose an attacking turn. Don't worry though, Jude Bellingham is going to Leverkusen, so all the fangirls are still happy. Leverkusen now have a huge chunk of West Germany, and I'm not talking the 1940s. Next up, we have Sevilla, who head northeast to play Atletico Madrid. Atletico came out hot as Griezmann beats Bono with a classic finish, and he's so happy he does the samba as he loves imperialism. It was a boring second half and the game ended 1-0. And yet another attacking team falls. With Atleti's decent midfield, I decided to take Jesus Navas instead to upgrade the right back. Atletico now own half of Spain. Our third spin lands on Inter and they get lucky as the arrow lands directly at Switzerland. We go again and this time it lands on Barca. And heading southwest, they face Atletico. Barca are the clear favorites here and they're ready to take a huge chunk of Spain. The first 30 minutes will be boring, but in the 37th minute, Jesus Navas chips across to Morata and he makes Araujo and Eric Garcia, his sons, jumping over both of them to get it past Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen is apparently a different man now after going to Turkey. Morata celebrates, but his teammate Koke starts a dogpile like this is a London Road scene. And the crowd, horny as ever, are on their feet going crazy. Oh, Correa on the counterattack. He gets past. Is he gonna take the shot? He does it! And Barcelona are out for sure now. There's no way they're gonna come back from that. The game would shortly end, and this is the first upset of the tournament. With that win, they replaced Morata with Lewandowski. And Atletico now owns 75% of Spain. On to our next spin, and it lands on Bayern. They head slightly southwest to face PSG, a battle between two giants. Bayern have no striker, and no disrespect to Choupo-Moting, but he's no Lewandowski. So I expect him to lose here. The Ninja Turtle would score 6 minutes in, as expected. This man wouldn't stop, as in the 12th minute, he hit the bar, but then decides to do a bicycle kick assist right to speed as he's way offside. Bayern would pull back though as Choupo-Moting finds Sadio Mane, the best player in the world, to tie things up. If you're wondering why Neuer isn't in net, it's because I'm using the current rosters and he's injured. Coming out of the second half, Bayern decided to learn tiki-taka and Choupo-Moting launches an absolute rocket past Donnarumma. And this guy is insane. Look at his 0.29 XG and he just gets it past the hands of Donnarumma. No way. The game would end 2-1, eliminating one of the favorites in this video. With their huge win, they get the obvious choice of Messi, and Bayern now take over half of France, and Kanye must be loving it right now. Heading into our next wheel spin, it would land on Benfica, who go north to play rivals Porto. The first half was boring and no team looked like they wanted to win. 9 minutes left in the game. Can Porto or Benfica find something? Enzo with the ball. A through ball over the head. Oh my god, no way! There's no way that just happened. What the hell was that header? That is insane. This might be one of the greatest goals I've ever seen. 17 meters out and he somehow gets enough on that ball to get it past the keeper. What is going on? And just like that, the game ends 1-0 and I'm rooting for Benfica at this point after that header. I decided to send Pepe to Benfica to improve their defense, and now they own 2/3 of Portugal. The next wheel spin would land on our first English team, Man City, who go east, and after taking a close look, they play Bayern Leverkusen. The game started off with Haaland hitting the post, but shortly after, De Bruyne set up Paul Breach's favorite player to give City the lead early. However, in the 33rd minute, Diaby finds Bellingham inside the box for an easy finish, and the fangirls are going to love that. Late into the second half, I witnessed probably one of the greatest plays ever by the AI, an overhead pass from Haaland to Foden, who heads it down to Paul's Bubba, who passes it back inside the box for a sweaty goal. I'm praying Man City choke this. I'm praying on their downfall. Please, please Leverkusen, come back, please. Wait, Diaby! No way! Ederson is left standing there and Diaby scores. Let's go. 88th minute goal. We have our first match to go to golden goal, but no team could push for a goal and they went to penalties. You already know, I'm rooting against Man City here. Tapsoba, come on. No! What a save by Ederson. Herdecki, please. Herdecki goes the same way and saves it. Adley, why is this going so fast? Adley, yes! Haaland, please save it, Herdecki. Oh, no, just got past him. Flozek, yes! 2-1 up. Phil Foden steps up. Saved! No way! Come on, you have to make this. Yes! They've gone left like 4 times in a row now. It's all up to Jack Grealish. If Herdecki saves, it's game over. Can they beat them for the upset? Here we go. Oh, what a save. They've done it. They've done it. From their win, they get De Bruyne, and that midfield pairing is looking amazing. City are wiped off the map, and Leverkusen now own a part of 2 countries. The wheel would land on Club Brugge, who directly goes south into Bayern territory. The first half would end 0-0, but Bayern are Bayern. In an insane turns of events, Bayern's defense would collapse as they saw themselves down 1-0 with 28 minutes to go. Thankfully, their newest transfer Messi would save them as he ties things up in the 75th minute. Bayern kept the pressure on as they really wanted to win this game. Kimmich to Messi, to Sane, he shoots and he scores! There's no way that's gonna be the game winner because surely Club Brugge don't score another goal here with 10 minutes to go. And that's game. They saved themselves from getting upset by Club Brugge and move on to take over some land. With Neuer being injured, Bayern took Mignolet, who was their best player and goalkeeper. Bayern now own a part of France, Belgium, and Germany, and it's looking like World War II out here. Moving on to the next turn, it lands on Juventus, who go southwest to play Marseille. Sanchez opened the scoring 8 minutes into the game, but Kostic would equalize. Sanchez would bag a brace before the end of the first half, and that would actually be the game-winning goal as the game ended 2-1. Tough decision on who to pick, but I think Kostic fits Marseille best, and Marseille take a part of Italy. Next up on the wheel, we have Ajax, who are pretty much surrounded on the map, and the arrow points them northeast, and after taking a close look, that hits Leverkusen land. Leverkusen can't stop scoring as the corner finds a Diaby header, giving them an early lead. Diaby scores again because Pazjor needs to retire, man. This guy can't save anything. But with injury time on the clock, Berghaus would find the back of the net to keep them in the game. De Bruyne would win a free kick in the 84th minute, which would come off the post perfectly, bouncing into Schick's head, securing the game, and Netherlands. They pick up tactics from Ajax and improvement from Hudson-Odoi, and Leverkusen are starting to bring back World War II flashbacks as the Germans are taking over the map. And yeah, I think that's enough World War II Germany jokes for this video. The next wheel spin lands on Maccabi Haifa, and I realize they're not even in FIFA, but we're just gonna have to take them off the map. Sorry to all the Israeli people watching this video. Alright, we go again, and it lands on Sporting, who end up matching with Atletico Madrid. Atletico are getting lots of chances to build up their roster. Their newest player, Lewandowski, was already making impacts as he scores in the first half, and it looks like Griezmann is still on his World Cup form as he finishes a shot past the keeper to make it 2-0. Simeone from the sidelines is loving it as he supports Imperialism. Sporting just got absolutely bent over as even Messi's biggest fan got a piece of the action. Atletico are looking like the dark horses as they absolutely batter Sporting in a 4-0 victory, and Atletico take coach, improving their back line. They wiped off Sporting, slowly taking over Southern Europe, leaving one Portuguese team left. Liverpool are on the attack, and going northeast, they hit Leverkusen's English territory. Thiago scores early, and Leverkusen are about to lose all the land they worked for. I would witness some rare footage as Darwin Nunez actually scored a goal, and in the second half, Salah would put the cherry on top and finish the game 3-0. Liverpool now have De Bruyne, and this is looking like a scary team. And in just one win, Liverpool own half of England and a part of Germany. Our next spin lands on Dinamo Zagreb, who go northwest claiming Slovenia. So we spin again, and it lands on Celtic, who end up southeast playing Liverpool. This match was supposed to be an easy win for Liverpool, but the Aussie legend Aaron Moy gives Celtic the lead in the second half. Unfortunately though, the lead would be lost as De Bruyne pulls out his African blood thinking he is Pele and scoring a nasty bicycle kick. 4 minutes left. Will we be going to another extra time? Hold on. A counterattack. Oh my gosh, they're through. Is he gonna finish it? He's done it. No way. Celtic might be moving on as another major upset. There goes the whistle and Celtic move on, wiping off Liverpool. This may be controversial, but I'm picking Van Dijk to reunite him with his old club. And in a weird turn of events, Celtic now own a ton of land, but they are still an easy club to beat. Next up, we have Shakhtar, who go southwest to play FC Victoria. I came into this match not expecting much because both are pretty bad teams in terms of ratings, and I was not disappointed as it went all the way to pens without a single goal. FC Victoria ended up winning on pens 4-2. They take Stepanenko, who is Shakhtar's best player, to improve their midfield. Victoria take over Ukraine, which sounds wrong out of context. Up next, we had Marseille playing Napoli as the arrow barely touched the boot of Italy. West Ham legend Dimitri Payet would give Marseille the lead and proceeded to do one of the worst celebrations I've ever seen. Early in the second half though, Politano would score to make it a 1-1 game, and the rest of the second half would be scoreless, and we head into a golden goal situation. Marseille on the counterattack. Payet to under. A through ball to Sanchez. Sanchez, what will he do with it? Oh, what a finish by Sanchez. That's the golden goal, and they move on. Marseille took Ocean Man to replace Sanchez up top, and they now have a big part of Italy. With another wheel spin down, Atletico Madrid play another game, and this time they had slightly northeast to play AC Milan. With injury time on the clock before the end of the first half, Leao would beat Oblak to give Milan the lead. And this is the first time I've ever seen the AI do the gritty. Truly magical. Leao's goal would be the only one scored in this match, but it was good enough for the dub. This might be a controversial decision, but I decided to give them Oblak instead of Lewandowski. And in one single turn, all of Atleti's work is gone. We are now down to the final 16 teams, and 9 of them haven't even played yet. The wheel barely stays on Leipzig as they go down south into Victoria. This match is pretty lopsided in terms of rating, so I expect Leipzig to win. But Forsberg in the 15th minute with Trippier leading us into our first live play penalty. He steps up. Where's he gonna shoot it? He goes left and slots it in. Easy goal. For some reason, the defense in the second half just lets Antonio Silva take a stroll inside the box and he ties up the game. The game would go to golden goal, which was scoreless, so another match will be going to pens. Victoria had some awful penalty takers, and they look like the Japanese national team missing all those pens. The better team won, and they took Stanek, which was a slight improvement in goal. Another German team expands, and this time they take the Czech Republic, and Leipzig would go back-to-back spins, and the arrow leads them to play Celtic. Celtic have been huge underdogs in most of their matches, but I expect them to win this one actually. They have been playing beautiful football, and this is just so smooth from them, leading to a calm finish from Furuhashi. There's one thing Leipzig do have though, and that's Christopher Nkunku. He's been watching FIFA content apparently because he goes with the meta Trivela to equalize. The second half would end scoreless and another game went to extra time. In the second half of extra time, O'Reilly would find Turnbull and Celtic would continue their run of dominance. The obvious choice here is to take Nkunku, and Celtic are looking dangerous. With that win, they now own half of Germany, half of England, half of Scotland, the Czech Republic, and all of Ukraine. This time the wheel lands on Dinamo Zagreb, who play Inter Milan. I was expecting a good performance out of Inter, but the first half was dead and most of the second half was also bland. But late into the second half, I've never seen an AI do such a beautiful cross like that, and Dynamo definitely deserved that goal. Inter got absolutely bent over, and to help their defense, I took Skriniar. Dynamo now expand into Italy. A spin of the wheel lands on Rangers, and they pretty much have no choice as everywhere they go is against Celtic. We are in for the Old Firm Derby where Celtic are the favorites going into it. Most of the first half wasn't filled with action, but with injury time on the clock, Rangers ran down the pitch, and Sakala would find an opening for Jack to take a shot. Hart would get his hands on it, but it couldn't stop it from going into the goal. In the second half though, Hatate would pull something I've never seen the AI do, and he player passed a through ball to Nkunku, who had an easy finish to level the match. Ryan Jack would get his break even with 2 dudes on him and with his back turned towards the goal. Things were not looking good for Celtic. Not gonna lie, I've been secretly rooting for them to win this whole thing. 8 minutes left, still plenty of time for Celtic to do something here. Nkunku with the ball to Maeda. He's gonna shoot it with no stamina. How has he made that shot? It would be a scoreless extra time when we go to penalties. Juranovic, he steps up and he smashes it right. Tavernier takes a pen and he also goes right. Furuhashi, what's he gonna do here? Where's he gonna go? Oh, it's saved with his foot. Where's Roof gonna go? Where's Roof gonna go? And he goes right, and Hart gets his hand to it. It's all even now. Nkunku for Celtic to take the lead in the pens. He does it. Morelos with the shot. He goes right, and the keeper can't do anything about that. McGregor versus McGregor. Where's he gonna go? Panenka, and it went in. Barisic needs to make this. He needs to make this pen, and he does. Van Dijk with the crucial pen. Where's he gonna go? He freezes the keeper. Arfield to keep his team alive. Oh my goodness, it's gone off the bar. Celtic stay alive. So Celtic pick up Tavernier from their rivals, and they now own all of Scotland. The wheel hasn't been kind, and Celtic go again heading northeast to play FC Copenhagen in their first match. FC Copenhagen definitely have the best team abbreviation, I'll give them that. It was a gruesome 0-0 match that went to another extra time, and sadly in extra time, Gonçalves would break hearts as he beats Hart with a classy finish. And now Van Dijk is on FC Copenhagen. In their first game, they take over a huge chunk of the map that Celtic have fought for this whole time. A lot of the teams on the wheel still haven't played, and this isn't going to change as Dynamo play again. They end up playing Marseille as I determined the arrow barely catches some Marseille land. It would be a competitive first half as both teams traded goals, but Marseille would take the lead before halftime. With seconds left in the game, Dynamo's run seemed to be over, but some absolutely astonishing football led to one of the sweatiest goals you'll ever see. And the all start dogpiling on them like they've just won the World Cup, but they haven't even won the game yet. We're going to pens, baby. Malinovsky steps up for Marseille and he bags it right. Petkovic, the striker for Dynamo, goes right as well. Payet, where's Payet gonna go? Payet! Panenka, wow! Drmic steps up and it's saved by Lopez. Osimhen steps up, he goes left with a clean finish. Dynamo need to make this or they'll be way behind. And they've saved it, no! If Kostic makes this, it's over. Kostic steps up and he makes it. It's over for Dynamo. And Marseille takes Skriniar, improving the back three. Marseille are looking competitive as they take up a decent amount of Italy and Switzerland. This time the wheel would land on Marseille and the arrow pointed them southeast to play AC Milan. The first half was nothing special, but in the 67th minute of the second half, AC Milan would strike through with a nice play inside the box from Giroud to Brahim. The lead would be cut short though as Guendouzi decides to fire an absolute missile from 24 yards out to tie up the game. Yet another game would go to extra time and then to pen. It's crazy how many are going the distance. Porto 2-3 up. All they had to do was score the last pen, but Lopez had other plans and saves the game winner. Alright, Kostic steps up. He goes left and Oblak gets there with an amazing diving stop. Skriniar is getting passed around like a thought, and now he ends up on Milan. With that being said, Milan pretty much now own most of Southern Europe after that big match. Bayern are now up to play heading northeast, and they face Frankfurt, who play for the first time. The game ended 1-0 with a volley from Goretzka. Bayern get a huge upgrade from Frankfurt as their goalkeeper Trapp is a baller, and now they have a good replacement for Neuer. And Frankfurt are raced off the map, deservingly so. Apparently the wheel loves Bayern, and they play again, and this time it's against Milan. Milan's playmaking has been great, and they keep passing it in the box to find Brahim for the finish. Giroud would catch the defense lacking in the second half, getting it past to Messias, who would seal the game. Bayern get eliminated, and Milan are really showing how good this team is. Messi now moves to AC Milan, and this Milan team are looking like the favorites to win it all. After beating Bayern, they now have the most map control. The wheel lands on Copenhagen, and the arrow points them to Spurs, who finally play a match. Højbjerg gives Spurs the lead with an outside the boot finish, and a Kane and Son link up would be the dagger ending FC Copenhagen's journey. Spurs now take Van Dijk, and it took them this long to get one game played, but they made it count, taking a ton of land. Salzburg also finally played their first match, and they go down south to a Milan team who have been dominating. Their domination continued, and Messi scored an easy goal. And just before halftime, Messi would once again score. It was all short for Salzburg, and they didn't even deserve to make it this far anyways. They had no one good enough for Milan, so I just gave them their best player. AC Milan now add Austria to their country tally. We have 5 teams left, and Chelsea and Real still haven't even played. The wheel lands on Tottenham, and the arrow just slightly points towards Milan's huge chunk of territory. Højbjerg would once again open the scoring for Tottenham, and they now look to own 80% of Europe. But in classic Spursy fashion, a corner came in straight for Giroud, and they conceded. And once again, another match goes to a penalty shootout. Milan get absolutely blue-balled in one of the most dramatic penalties I've ever seen, where it comes off Lloris, and it's still in play. Leao misses a much-needed penalty, and it came out of Kulusevski, who floats it in, and the Spurs now have Messi. They have taken over the entire map in just 2 turns. Real Madrid finally play, and the southeast arrow goes straight into a match against Spurs. Late into the second half, Hazard would rock Van Dijk right into Van Dong, and Modric would capitalize as the goalkeeper AI gets absolutely confused. Spurs seem to have tied it in the 90th minute, but VAR calls the goal back, and Real Madrid take home the win. Messi's getting passed around from team to team as he heads off to Madrid. What a weird scenario. Just like that, the whole map is piss yellow. The wheel barely stays on Benfica, and they have no choice but to play Real Madrid, which means Chelsea move into the final without playing a single match. Benfica somehow managed to hang in there with Real keeping the game 0-0 and scrape by to a penalty shootout. Vlachodimos turns into Prime Yashin and saves 2 penalties to help them win in pens 4-2. Now the map is covered in Benfica red, leading to a final against Chelsea. I spun the wheel to see who would be the away team, and Chelsea deservingly are away. And I almost forgot to add Messi to Benfica. Chelsea would take the lead early on the Kovacic's goal, but Benfica were able to reel back in with great passes inside the box, leading to a Rafa goal. And 5 minutes into the second half, Bao would find Gonzalo Ramos to put them up 2-1. That would be the winning goal as Benfica parked the bus, and thank God they won because Chelsea made it into the final without playing a single match. There you have it. Europe is red as Benfica sit on top. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe because this video took me a week to record. Thanks.